Hello, good to see everyone today, and welcome to our biweekly Oils and Fats webinar series with our analyst, Ermin. Ermin, how are you doing today?
Yeah, very good, Gabriela. A lot of things are happening in the markets as usually, a lot to cover. Yeah, I think we're going to have a nice discussion today.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to lay out a bit of our agenda today, we're going to touch upon trends in the energy markets and the impact on veg oils, Indonesian export policies, palm oil supply and demand, U.S. tariffs on Brazilian tallow, rapeseed production perspectives, and sunflower oil supply. Let's kick things off with the energy markets. With things escalating a bit in the Middle East, I'm curious to hear what's going on with Brent.
Of course, let me share my screen. So yeah, this is the September Brent crude oil price. You can see that it closed yesterday at $91, but today, I think during today's session, it's trading around $93 per barrel, so higher than yesterday. That's because, the situation in the Middle East, continues escalating. So with all, let's say, news that tankers were hit by Iran, about Houthis saying that they're imposing a naval blockade on Saudi Arabia, closing the Bab al-Mandeb Strait for Saudi shipping, and then Saudi saying that they will use the military means to keep their waterway operational. And various shipping data agencies, they reported that the traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, which is one of the most important metrics during this conflict, just to see what's going on with the oil logistics, multiple agencies, they said that the traffic dropped, clearly in the previous couple of weeks. However, the market is trying to see a silver lining there with news that mediators passed a proposal for Iran to arrange a ceasefire, and then Pakistani officials visiting Iran. But overall, the market stays nervous about the situation. And of course, the Brent keeps going up, and it filters into the veg oils market, providing a strong support. And so far, no big positive news for the market, and it stays bullish.
Yeah, Brent crude does once again remain one of the strongest bull factors supporting the veg oils. Also, I've heard there have been some updates regarding Indonesia's export policies. What have you heard along those lines?
Yeah, so the piece of news came that the Indonesian president communicated that the state company called Danatara Subrerdaya, I hope I pronounced it correctly. Sorry if I did not, for those who speak the language. So the state company will start activities on the 1st of September, the company that will be basically watching the exports, controlling the data, etc. And the company itself said that they would launch an export governance system in September, where they will start processing the export data. They will do some export administration there through the governance mechanism. And I was asking a few market participants about this, just asking their opinion, and they said that this is not a big shock. So of course, the phase 2 of Indonesian export channeling, where the larger degree of control is expected to take place, is still going to start in January. But the September milestone is rather to show a commitment to proceed with the whole thing, with the whole export channeling, right? And market participants also said that they're still waiting for the comments from the ministries on that to get more clarity. but overall, it didn't come as a big shock for the market that something will happen in September. Plus, with the governmental company specifying that it will be more about the data part, the market is not too concerned yet. But I guess we will just need to see if it goes smoothly from the administrative point of view, if it causes any delays on that part. But the phase 2, where more control will take place, is still anticipated to start in January, basically.
Okay. So it does look like the current policy will maintain its course. How is the palm oil supply and demand situation looking?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Indonesia recently shared, published the numbers for May. So they always, the GAPKI organization, they always give the numbers with a delay, but still good to get a clue on what's happening with the production. So I'm showing you monthly Indonesian palm oil production. As you can see, the May production was weaker than in April and in May last year, but because of the very strong production in January and February, you can see it was very high. The year-to-date production is still good, but getting a little bit weaker. And similar situation, sorry, not actually similar, the opposite situation with the palm oil stocks. So if you look at the Indonesian palm oil stocks, let me choose Indonesia here in the supply and demand widget. You can see that the stocks grew in May to 3 million metric tons. So that's basically, a good supply at that point of time. And of course, everybody also keeps in mind the Malaysian stock situation. So if we look at the Malaysian stocks, which are much more up to date, they are quite strong for this period of time. Not as strong, of course, as in December, but still, relatively comfortable for the summer, right? Which gives us a picture that in the first part of the year, the supply of palm oil has been great, and the numbers confirm that. But various analytical and crop agencies, they are worried about the second part of the year and about the 2027, with LSEG and Oil World and other organizations saying that there could be lower production in the coming month and 2027 due to El Niño, which impact we'll see probably in 2027 only, but also higher fertilizer prices, higher diesel prices, worries related to the Indonesian policies, which could force less investment, less replanting, less fertilizer usage, and just generally lower yields. So overall, the picture that H1 was pretty comfortable, but H2 in 2027 might not necessarily be as comfortable.
Sounds good. I'm seeing some chats come in that we're having some audio issues, but I just want to make sure, are the bulk of folks able to hear us before we carry on?
I
think it looks like we might be doing okay.
Yeah, I think,
okay.
I don't know, I can hear you well, so you can hear me too.
We'll keep going then. Please keep chatting. Please chat us again if there's any issues, if people are continue to having issues with audio. But also, okay, thank you so much for that overview on the palm oil supply demand. It does appear that supply was strong first half of the year, as you mentioned, and Malaysian stocks remain high. However, the market is concerned what the second half of the year and 2027 might bring. Changing gears a bit, let's talk about Chicago soybean oil. I've heard U.S. tariffs on Brazilian tallow have provided some strong support for prices.
Yes, that was a big one, actually, because the U.S. Trade Representative finalized at 25% on broad range of Brazilian imports under the Section 300, which is effective today, basically. And this is replacing the temporary 10% duty previously imposed, and the tallow is included, basically, or not excluded. And why it is important, because now, if we look at the CBOT soybean oil price, open the future section, and then, so prices are historically high for the soybean oil. And at the same time, which is basically caused by the very high biofuel blending mandates set by the government. So the biofuel producers, they've been looking for alternative feedstocks, including tallow, which was largely coming from Brazil, right? So if we look at the import-export data, here I've got Brazilian tallow, but let me open from country to country, just one moment. Oh yeah, Brazil, export from Brazil into the United States, tallow. And if you look at the numbers, it was around 400K last year of Brazilian exports into the US, which is a significant amount. And now importers in the US are worried that the tariff will make it less interesting financially to import tallow. And that, of course, means that the usage of soybean oil might continue being high, right? Because the options for alternative feedstock just got decreased because of this 25% duty. There are also some rumors that the duties might get even higher. So some politicians are pushing for even higher duties on Brazilian goods, including tallow. So, and if it does materialize, that will make it even worse. But in my opinion, this news, they were indeed fundamentally supportive for the Chicago soybean oil price.
Interesting. You also saw there was some bullish supply and demand data we received as well, correct?
Yes. So, NOPA, the industrial organization in North America, they basically reported crush numbers at the top of the analyst expectations, so around 214.3 million bushels of soybeans crush in June, whereas the soy oil stocks were reported to be lower than expected. So together with the tallow news, you can imagine it provided a good support for the Chicago soy oil.
Great. Moving on to rapeseed, would love to hear your thoughts on the current price outlook for rapeseed as well as rapeseed oil.
Yeah, of course. So let me share my screen and I will go to my rapeseed dashboard. All right. So, so as you can see, so this is, for example, September FOB Dutch bill price. You can see that overall, and I always look at the weekly perspective at the markets, you can see that week over week there was an increase in rapeseed oil crude price. But what was even more notable is the behavior of the Matif rapeseed, which just went over the roof. Let me share my screen. So rapeseed, Matif, August contract. Yeah, as you can see, so this is 3 year of historical data. You can see that prices are at a few year highs now for August. And there were many bullish factors supporting it. So including the heat in Europe, which was threatening corn, but also to a smaller extent wheat and rapeseed, which are already being harvested, but still they do impact. A few agencies cut their forecasts for the rapeseed production in Europe. It's, of course, the Middle Eastern situation. It's situation in the Black Sea, where the ships get under attack from both Ukraine and Russia, where ports in both countries get damaged, right? And it happens during the harvesting in the countries. So it's affecting essentially the shipping, not of just rapeseed, but of other grains and oils, right? So very significant logistical disruptions in the Black Sea. And of course, as you can imagine, such a mix of bullish factors is driving the prices up. And I would say the buyers, what they try to do now, they try to see if the panic will basically, not the panic, if the situation improves in the Middle East, in the Black Sea, because if we hear some positive news, prices can go down, also about the weather. But for now, I haven't heard anything positive yet, put it this way, right? So far, everybody remains nervous, right? And hoping for the best while the prices stay very high.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you give a little bit more detail? I know you went into a bit about what's happening in the Black Sea, but weather continues to be a big concern. Do you have any more insight there?
Yeah, of course. So, for example, Oil World publicly mentioned that they cut the European rapeseed production forecast by a few hundred K, I think, something like this, if I'm not mistaken, which makes the expected crop size already smaller than the previous year in Europe, mainly because of Poland and Czech Republic. There are some concerns around Canada. Nothing is reflected in the crop estimates yet, so the crop is still expected to be good, but the weather has not been perfect. And of course, Australia, where you've got big concerns over El Niño, and as we discussed in the last webinar, the chances of strong El Niño are getting higher, as reported by the key meteorological global organizations. And of course, it's expected to impact Australia seriously. So yeah, you've got a bit of reductions in Europe of the harvest, logistical issues preventing Ukraine to ship, and Russia as well. And yeah, some worries related to Australia.
Yeah. So definitely quite a few bullish factors supporting the rapeseed complex right now, which are limiting expectations of harvest pressure. Looking over at sunflower, how is the sunflower oil market looking?
Of course, let me go to my sunflower dashboard. Sunflower. Okay, so this we've got our August price, for example. So as you can see, yeah, week over week increase, supported by rival oils, so rapeseed oil, Chicago palm, but importantly, yeah, the Black Sea disruptions, as we discussed previously, as the Black Sea is the key exporting region for sunflower oil, right? And when the shipping and ports get paralyzed, of course, it's very worrisome for the markets. But as you can see, the prices are not going over the roof. And I think that's because the market hopes for two things. So the first thing that the market waits for, probably not hopes for, waits for, is the strong sunflower production expected in the coming season. So the global crop agencies, they expect world production to increase by a few million metric tons in the coming season. Of course, there are still weather risks, right? And last summer, we were also expecting a very strong crop, but then there was a drought and the heat, which actually caused a significant damage, and the final crop size was much smaller than anticipated, right? So nobody guarantees that this year there won't be the same story, but so far so good. Yeah, so far the numbers stay good, and the weather in the Black Sea improved a little bit, but the logistics now remains the issue. But I think the market hopes that the key exporters will figure out the logistics. They maybe will find alternative routes, or that the situation de-escalates. And that's why you see that the prices are showing, you can say, quite limited-ish reaction to the news.
And how is supply and demand looking?
Yeah, so if we speak about the production, for example, right now, not about the sunflower production, but the oil being produced in the Black Sea. If we go to production volumes, for example, yeah, as you can see, in Ukraine, the situation continues not being great. And I think today the June numbers will be crawled by our system. I already saw the raw data, and the June is also looking very weak. I think it's around 300K going to be in June. So this is, the production continues being weak in Ukraine, same as exports, which of course keeps the European market tight. Yeah, because Europe imports sunflower oil only from Ukraine, and it does depend on the imports from Ukraine of sunflower oil, because the European domestic production is not enough to meet the needs. And this year the crush has been very poor in Europe, despite the arrivals of Argentinian sunflower. So yeah, production in Europe is not great, production in Ukraine is not great, which keep the market tight and keep prices strong for sunflower oil, whereas a production in Russia is actually picking up since the beginning of the year, and which basically improves the supply situation for India and Turkey, for example, and China. But again, yeah, despite better production in Russia, the poor production in Europe and Ukraine and logistics issues, they basically provide a very strong support to sunflower oil prices.
Okay, so definitely looks like European supply is going to remain fairly tight until the next harvest. The market's definitely going to be placing its hopes on the upcoming crop. As you mentioned, though, weather could still play a major role, so we'll keep an eye there.
Mm-hmm.
Looking over to Lorix, how is the coconut oil market looking?
Of course, let me go to my coconut dashboard. Lorix dashboard, sorry. Let me find all right, this is the chart. So coconut oil, CIF Rotterdam price with X-Works Manila basically doing the same thing. Yeah, as you can see, prices keep recovering once they started their rebound in the beginning of July. I'm pretty sure we discussed it last time, but it's explained by the higher coconut prices or Copra prices, the raw material for the coconut oil production. However, as you can see, there was this slight decline here, and that's because of the Copra as well. So if I find my Copra widget, oh, there we go. As you can see that prices for Copra have reversed very strongly. And I was trying to ask market participants to give me an explanation, and basically a few of them shared an opinion that Copra suppliers, they started selling at this rebound, so which increased supply temporarily and pressured prices. But overall, a few people indicated that the bottom has already been found and prices should not go below this bottom, which basically should give us probably a sideways-ish, maybe up a little bit of an upside sentiment for the Copra and coconut oil. And that's because of partly because of the economics behind the Copra, and also rising farmer input costs and typhoon season and expectations of potentially higher biofuel mandates in the Philippines. And in the Philippines, they use coconut oil for the biofuel production, right? So if the mandates increase, the domestic consumption will increase. So these factors, according to some market opinions, should provide a strong floor to the prices. But we need to see where the market will be going, because as you can see, the rebound was not very strong, right? And as you can see, it quite quickly reversed. So I'm very curious to hear more updates on what the actual Copra supply is, right? But meanwhile, coconut oil prices, they stay stronger, they stay high, but I think, they're not going to grow if Copra continues dropping.
Makes sense. And looking over at palm kernel oil, how is that market looking?
Yeah, so let me switch. As you can see, they are following the same direction. So palm kernel is benefiting from stronger crude palm oil prices, which in turn follow Brent, for example, not as strongly as during the first phase of the Middle East conflict, but still they do follow. Palm kernel oil basically also staying stronger and trading at a premium, or here, for example, on Seaf Rotterdam on par, but at origin, I would say the premium of PKO is still there, which is not very usual because normally coconut oil has a premium of over palm kernel oil. But I agree with market participants who say that this premium of palm kernel oil over coconut oil should basically cap the growth of the palm kernel oil price, because basically the discount of palm kernel oil to coconut oil needs to be developed there. And of course, let's have a look at the Indonesian numbers, which came not just for the crude palm oil, but also palm kernel oil. Let me see. Palm kernel oil crude, Indonesia. And of course, the story is similar, right? That May production is weaker than April production, but because of the strong production in January and February, the year-to-date production remains very strong. And also taking into account good production in Malaysia in the first part of the year, and stocks, again, H1, the first part of the year, looked comfortable, whereas there are some questions related to the second part of the year in 2027, right? Because the same news that we discussed for palm oil, they are applicable to the palm kernel oil. So, I mean, the weather, replanting, slower replanting, etc., etc. So that's the situation with the palm kernel oil.
Makes sense. And last but not least, I know we've gotten questions in the past few times about EUDR. And I've heard that paper traders have started incorporating EUDR premiums into their prices. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. So maybe they started even earlier, but I basically just noticed that looking at the numbers yesterday, that, for example, Q4 quotes, for example, October, November, December, they already $400 higher than, let's say, July, August, or September numbers. So indeed, the EUDR premiums already been actively included for the Q4 for palm kernel oil, which is not the same for coconut oil, which is not under EUDR. And some people speculate that with the EUDR taking place, people might again increase the usage of coconut oil in Europe, where possible, of course.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us just about to time. Let's double check any other questions. I don't think so.
No.
Thank you then, Ermin, so much for your time, and we'll see you guys here in 2 weeks.
See everyone in 2 weeks. Thanks, Gabriela.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.